Really like narrow reaction from open guard slash our wrestle ups, where we're just going against an opponent that's fleeing from us, somebody that's like running away. Okay, so like you guys remember previously, if he steps in, okay, we have reactions here. We can set up reaches. Okay, we did it from neutral, but that type of stuff is not only going to be hard, but it's going to be risky if like he's continually like stepping out, resetting, and maybe at some point you overextend, you get sprawled on, you get guillotine, stuff like that. Okay? So really the answer here is going to be, instead of like a standard single leg reach, we're going to start to look more at ankle picks. Okay, so grabbing really low on the leg. Now, a lot of you, especially those of you that have wrestled, you're probably used to something like this, getting a collar tie, okay, pushing the head over the lead leg, and then picking here. Okay, it's a great way to ankle pick. Okay, you can definitely do that from here, but we have to consider a few things. A, if I get a collar tie on him, especially if I'm reaching, okay, this could at the very least be hard to hold on to. At the worst, he could jump through here and triangle me or do a flying armbar. Okay? It's not too unusual. Okay? The other deficit here is that we've talked about this before. When we use the same side grip on the legs, especially with somebody that's running away from us, okay, you guys see it's easy for him to turn and pull that leg out. Okay? So we're going to work with an inside grip this week. So now if he tries to do the same thing, okay, not impossible, but it's going to take him much longer. Okay? My other hand, instead of working with a collar tie, we're actually going to work on the hip here. Okay, we're going to use the hip to off balance. All right. That's another reason why I'm using the outside arm. Okay. Inside arm, one of the counters here is he could arm drag me. Yeah, potentially get behind here. Go ahead. Not as big. All right. So cross grip on the heel, cross post on the hip. All right. Now, here's what we're going to look at doing. This is going to be a continuous movement when we get up. All right. Once I grab the heel and I post on the hip, I want to continuously push his weight into his back foot, so this foot gets light and I can bring it off the floor. Okay. So 1, 2. Yeah. See, I keep that weight going. All right. Now, very important. Once I get up to my knee here and my foot, I want to transfer to the ankle. Okay, we have a really low ankle grip here. If I get too far ahead of myself, that foot typically can get pretty heavy and we can lose this pretty fast. Okay? Side reach, push the hip, get his weight on his foot, and then connect here. Makes sense? Alright, harder. Okay. Once you have this, then you're going to stand up. Now, we're going to work on 2 sections this week with 2 different types of attacks. We're going to look at going to guard, and we're going to look at finishing takedowns from this position. Okay? You guys notice this isn't a usual single leg grip that we have. Okay? We looked at high singles here, and regular single legs here. Okay? It's not to say that I can't get to those from this. Okay? But a lot of times, if I let go of this leg, he's going to time it. And again, that leg's going to get heavy. Okay? So we're going to look at a different type of single leg finish off of this. Okay? You guys watched Islam versus Dustin Poirier recently. Okay, you might have seen this. Okay? So we're going to look at whipping and snapping the leg. So this motion, I want to bring his leg towards his other leg in a very particular way. It's going to be like I'm drawing a J with his leg, or like a half circle. Okay? So I'm initially going to bring this leg down, and then as soon as I bring it down, I'm going to try to bring it to its highest point. Finish the takedown. Okay? Okay? Make sure you're making that strong connection. Okay? As you get better with this, you can do that as you're getting up. Okay? But don't be all the way up here already. Against somebody good, you're going to hit some problems here. Okay? All right. Not this way, guys. Ramiro's going to hop if I do that. Okay? Go ahead. See, somebody has good balance. Now, if I take him this way, it doesn't matter if he hops. It's actually going to make it worse for him. Down. Guys, remember, much like the pushing on the hip, when I do this, if he doesn't fall right away, this is a continuous detail. I'm going to keep lifting that foot and driving into him until I complete the takedown. Circle back around to the wrestle ups in a little bit. Okay, let's talk about not just like when we run into problems, but different options we have. This can be definitely your first option, all right? So we're gonna do the same setup here. Okay, you get control of the foot. You can do this either from this point or standing, okay? A lot of times you'll hit it at this point. When you start to rise, a lot of times what people do, like they're being ankle locked, they'll start to put the boot on. Yeah, and like you'll feel yourself fall backwards, okay? So from there, it's not an unreasonable thing to take that boot off, right? He's pushing me in the chest, and if I let his foot stay here, he'll keep pushing me. So a lot of times what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this foot to the outside. A, so he's no longer pushing me, and B, this is gonna plant the seed for pulling single leg X, all right? So from here, when I'm ready to shoot through, I'm gonna take the free hand, reach across for the far knee. I'm gonna bring my right foot under my butt so I can slide through and connect my shin bone to his hamstring, okay? As I do this, I'm gonna bring my left foot to the hip, raise my back off the ground, pinch my knees. And for now, we're just gonna finish it basic. Single leg X to the top, okay? A lot of times you're going to use that knee slide to cover a lot of space with things, okay? So for example, when I want to guillotine somebody and sit through, we're doing that same type of movement with our heel to cover space here, okay? It's really the same thing when you're going to single leg X, okay? Especially if you're up on this foot. It's going to be awkward to slide through like this, so same thing. You're like windshield wiping the heel. This doesn't need to be the case of like him driving into me and knocking me off the ground. At any point, I can work these both in combinations here, all right? So we did this in the basics class. I can rise to my feet, make a determination that I can't do a single leg or I don't want to, okay? And I can still bring this leg to the outside and make my decision to pull through, okay? You guys can do that at any point. So if you go to your feet, again, like, you're not committed to doing a wrestle up or doing a takedown now. You can still go back to single leg X at any point. Does that make sense? All right, cool. All right, so the first half of class, we only talked about the person staying facing you, chest to chest, okay? This gets complicated again, especially with those of you that have this habit. When I start to turn away, and I make that big high leg motion to try to reset, okay? Even though we have control of the ankle, a lot of times that burrito grip on the ankle isn't enough to get leverage, okay? So we're gonna do another drill similar to the first one, where we change our grips according to somebody trying to turn away from us, okay? It's gonna be one of the most important parts of class this week, to be honest, okay? So, from here, okay, I could already have the ankle grip, but what I need to be ready to do is to have this hand ready as like a catcher's mitt, okay? So what I don't want to do is when Ramiro turns away, and this is like what everybody does, and he pulls his leg out, I don't want to reach, okay? If I reach, unless you're like some freak athlete, there's no way you're getting that leg back, okay? So now when he turns away and he goes to pull his ankle out, I want to be ready to catch his shoelaces, okay? My other hand can almost stay where it is, but for like a stronger grip here, we're actually going to transfer our palm to his heel. And now from here, I'm going to glue this whole structure to my chest, okay? Guys, see, one of the main things here, I can still lose his leg if I don't play this properly. The main thing here is I'm keeping my elbows in. So if Ramiro starts to pull away, I never let my elbows come away from my body, okay? That's my leverage. Now watch the difference. If I let him start yanking his leg and I'm pulling, yep, eventually that foot's going to come out. So now we're doing this again, right? So, I'm just going to work on that first. Get my inside reach on the ankle pick, I push, okay, he pulls over, he turns, tries to pull away, connect my chest to this. Now, you want to get a good feel for this. Have your partner take 1 or 2 steps and try to pull their leg out, and just get used to keeping your elbows and your chest connected to that foot. 1, 2, okay, get this off before he turns away. You guys see it? As soon as they turn away, there's a huge chance they're just going to rip that leg right out. So shoelaces, heel. Okay, make sure your elbows stay closed. You're not breaking this away from you. Okay, you can have your partner try to pull the foot away. Guys, watch this. This is big. Don't stay put and let him pull, but I pull. See, starting to separate my leverage here. Okay. you have your partner pull, follow him with your upper body. Go ahead. Okay, see? I always stay attached to that foot. Okay. Now, this is important to drill it from here, okay? Because look, the direction of Ramiro's leg, even more so now versus the first section, is going to determine how I attack from here. If his leg goes in this direction, I do not have single leg X guard. I have rear guards, like things like 50-50, I can slide through, I can go to things like crab ride, okay, we'll talk about wrestling up in a second too. So if our intention is to go to single leg X, now more than ever, we need the leg to go to this side, okay? Now the entry is basically the same. Now, for the sake of review and practice, okay, we're going to go to reverse X this time, all right? So from here, I'm going to put my left foot on the ground. I'm going to bridge, use my foot to get his hands on the floor, okay? This foot is not going to move for the rest of the technique. My foot's going to come off the floor, under that leg, not over. If we go over, we're going to regular X guard. Needs to be under this leg, okay? You guys see my legs are nice and high. I want to feel my instep curling on his hip bone. I want to feel my other instep kind of get fresh behind me, okay? All right, so. Now from here, I need to get this far leg light. So what I need to do is I need to bring all of my weight this way. Everything you do here is literally the opposite of X guard. X guard, we want our knees apart. Reverse X, we want our knees together. X guard, we want to stretch them out. Reverse X, we want to bring them to us. Okay? Reverse engineer X guard. Okay? From here, I can use this hand to frame, and again, I want to start bringing my legs this way. The more I move my legs in conjunction with back rolling into my shoulders here, the more I'm going to lift this leg off the mat, okay? Now you guys see I'm reaching here, and this is really hard to get on fingertips right now. What I need to do, it's almost like one of those scissor lifts. I need to bring my knees to my chest, and then grab his knee, okay? It's very important that you guys grab the knee. Again, somebody good, if you go to the calf or the ankle, I'm going to go to pass, and he's going to slip that knee through, and you're going to go right back to square one, okay? Now watch when I grab the knee, I'm going to let him try to do the same thing. They try to slip your knee. Extremely difficult. Now from here I lock a triangle and I return him to the floor to get the saddle. So from here, same thing, inside reach, off balance, he's turning away, we're pulling this foot in. Okay, remember if he's starting to pull away and you're losing leverage, you're following it up your chest. Okay. Now, as we fall back, very important, we bring this leg to the inside. Out to the outside. Okay? That's going to be the next one. So here, sliding my knee through as I catch. Okay, but this time he removes my foot and or he puts his hands on the ground. Okay? You can hold on. If he's holding onto your foot and you can't put your foot on the ground, remember we're grip fighting here. Strip, foot on the ground. And then from here, we can keep moving his hands. Okay? Now from here, I'll take this foot off. I'll go for the far hip, okay? Centering up, framing, extending, bend your knees so you can get access to this leg. We are not grabbing the ankle, we're not grabbing the calf, we're grabbing the kneecap, okay? If you grab the ankle and do this, it's going to slip that knee through sometimes, okay? When we do this, and we grab the knee, try to slip your knee through. Very difficult. Sometimes you guys will find yourselves when you're doing this entry, there's a lot of momentum this way, or he makes the decision to fall to his hip, so try to avoid this. Again, just follow him. And now we have a lot of the big lock options here too. Okay. Let's say you're not allowed to do heel hooks or knee bars and you land in the saddle, okay? It's time to come on top and start passing. So if we're ever in a division, especially in E, a lot of people are actually doing this more in E now, where you sweep the person, okay, you get up here, we can find ways at this point to start coming up. This is the passing options too. Okay? So, again, eventually, like we did last time we did reverse X, we'll circle back around and do its own class. Is just start from a really clean slate like this, where you have two butterfly hooks, like two grips on the ankles, and just work on keeping one foot static and following the other leg through. And this will take you to all the main X guard systems. If you just do that drill, It's going to implant into all this more advanced stuff, and it's going to make it so much easier. As I'm starting to come up, I like to find the foreign knees. Way harder to strip the strip, okay? And at this point, I can safely let go of the foot, or if I lose it, it's going to be where I want it anyways. Okay? Now, backside double leg is just that. You're in a double leg, but we're behind it. Okay? The benefits here are great. You can't sprawl on me. You can't guillotine me. Okay? Not as accessible as a regular double leg. Okay? So whenever I take opportunity, I like to employ this instead. Now, guys, really important here. Remember the jar pivots. Okay, the analogy. Tight elbows. Okay? Whenever you double leg somebody, you shouldn't be grabbing them like casually like this. Okay? You should be grabbing them like you want them. Okay? Elbows in. Alright, so here. Okay, so watch. Same analogy. Instead of a foot, it's Ramiro's whole lower body now. Try to run away. See? I have a really good connection to him now. Just by pulling the elbows in. Guys, remember, whenever you have grips like this, you're not using your hands, you're using your forearms. Connection is your forearms. Think of a collar tie. Okay? Now, let's assume that's not the case. He's running away. Okay? Great, he's not running away, sorry. We're static here, and I just got to look for my finish. Okay? Again, it's like a regular double leg. You're going to stand, you're going to keep your head tight to the hip, and you're just going to take that lateral step. Okay? You got to keep moving your feet. Okay? If you've never done a regular double leg where you take a shot, you start to come up, you don't stop moving your feet. 1, 2. Okay, he turns away. We get that first connection. Now we're going to climb to a tighter connection above the knees. Okay? 1, 2. Elbows tight. Okay? Really pinch the elbows in. And then from here, we can start to stand, push with our head, and move our feet. French defense is him just hand fighting and stripping my grip. And a lot of times here, that's when we can go lower. Now if he tries to do the same thing here, this is way more difficult.